Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about 15 things you need to know before you end up buying the Schyster Deviant in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I am really excited about this vehicle, and I think it's one of the more underrated ones that has come out from Arena War. So before we get started today, let's actually take a look at this vehicle on the in-game website. It's going to be available on the Legendary Motorsports site for $512,000. It's a two-seater muscle car, and it's actually based off of a super cool vehicle, the 1972 AMC Javelin, which just looks amazing. It's such a really great car, so I'm so excited about this when it does eventually arrive in the game. Its release order is 5th on the Legendary Motorsports site, so it's going to be a little bit before we end up seeing this added into the game. Although, at the rate Rockstar is releasing these vehicles, it might be sooner than you think. Now, another fun fact about this vehicle is this is only the second Schyster vehicle to be added in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's the first since the original Fusillade that has been in the game since day one. The only other significant Schyster car in the GTA series is the PMP 600, which was last featured in Grand Theft Auto 4. So believe it or not, this is a pretty unique car because it's only one of two Schyster vehicles in game, which is kind of cool, and it definitely makes it unique. If we go ahead and take a look at the interior type is based off of the Silvestre. So the Inis Silvestre has the exact same interior as the Deviant does here. It's a pretty modern racer version of a muscle car interior. So it's okay. There's nothing special about it. In first person, it is a little bit hard to see over that giant hood scoop, but that is something you can actually change in the Los Santos custom shop. So speaking of the LSC, let's go ahead and bring this thing inside of the LSC and get to customizing it. So the first thing you're going to notice here is it has 19 options of customization. Pretty good for a muscle car. So the first thing you can do is the front bumper, and there's a lot of unique options here, which is really cool. You can add splitters and extenders to really give this car an extra look from the front. So that is the front bumper. Again, lots of nice options right there. And then on the rear bumper, you've got some really cool options too. You can make your bumper chrome or carbon or make it stay with the primary color, add some plastic strips if you want. So those are your bumper options. From there, we have exhaust. And I think that the side exit exhaust look really cool, but they leave this massive gap in the back of the car. And considering when you're driving it, that's what you're going to be looking at 95% of the time. That missing exhaust gap right there is a little bit awkward for me. So I went with the dual rear exit exhaust, and I felt like that looked pretty good. After that, we have grill options. The grill options here are insanely cool. So you can change up a couple of mild things, like the different types of slats that you want, if you want a plastic grill or not. And then we get to these at the bottom that are called Phantom Grill. And they actually cover up the headlights. And we're going to do a test a little bit later on to see if the headlights will still work, even with something like the Phantom Grill attachment on. Because it looks like it completely covers it up, which means, will the headlights work if you're using that type of grill upgrade? So we'll test that out a little bit later. After that, you can change the hood if you want. There's a couple of different options right here. You can go from vented to carbon. You could also do a secondary option. You could expose the charger. You could add a big scoop on there if you wanted to. I just stayed with the stock hood as I felt like that was the best look for the car that I was ultimately going for. After that, it's time to move on to liveries. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, the liveries today are amazing. There isn't a single one I dislike, which is awesome. So the first livery today is yellow pinstripe. This one is super simple. It's sort of a pale yellow pinstripe that goes along both sides of the car. That one looks really nice. The next one is gray stripes, which gray stripes runs down the middle of the vehicle and on the roof and sort of on the back. And it's just a simple single gray stripe down the center, and it looks really, really good. So I'm a big fan of that for a simple classic look. Speaking of classic, up next we have classic white stripes. This is amazing too. You've got the 2 white stripes on the hood that sort of branch out towards the headlights. That looks really good. It also extends on the roof and the rear of the car, and a single white line at the bottom of the door sill on each side as well. That is classic white stripe. From there, you've got negative stripes, which I really like too. It's basically just the white stripes, but a much darker gray version, and they're a little bit wider, and you have more of like a gap in the center. So that right there is negative stripes. I really like that. The one after that is two-tone, and two-tone is awesome. I didn't know like the right colors that would work really well for this. It sort of combines the yellow pinstripe, but with that like gray fill on the top, and then a white stripe instead of yellow. It looks really, really good. Like a super bright color, like a yellow or a red or even a blue, I think would work really well with this livery. So that right there is two-tone. Our next livery is RJ Farthings. And if you guys understand this reference, let me know, because I don't know who RJ Farthings is supposed to be, but it's a really cool livery. It sort of puts a gray fill on the hood. RJ Farthings is all over the place. 75 is the number. You've got this really cool like sweeping white stripe on the door sill and the Schyster logo on the back. So that right there is RJ Farthings. Really cool. Another amazing one is Aero Gasoline. This one would look great with a red color to sort of get that red, white, and blue effect. You've got the number 8 on the side, Atomic, Haze, Aero. I just love the blue and the white right there. It looks so clean. So that is Aero Gasoline. After that, it is Alpha Male. Alpha Male is very similar to RJ Farthings. You've got that same sort of white design on the door sill. You've got 38, Atomic, Alpha Male. Really cool design right there. The one after that is Lowrider. This is like a mega white fill that basically is like a two-tone on the top of the car, and also a pretty cool design on this side of the door. And our last livery is Globe Oil, which is this super bright red color with these baby sky blue stripes going along the side of the car. This one looks really great too. This one will work well with like a light gray or a white paint job. So those are all your liveries right there. Like I said, there wasn't one that I disliked. There were so many great ones that you could choose from here, and that is terrific. After that, we need to talk about our color groups. The primary color is going to affect the majority of the exterior of the car. The only thing it doesn't affect is sort of like the trim of this vehicle. So it doesn't modify the edge of the grille, the mirrors, the trim that you're going to see on all the windows, even the door handles. That is what the secondary color does. The secondary color has that sort of impact, as you guys can see here. Now, by default, it's chrome, and I think it looks best that way because it does impact so much of the car and the exterior. But of course, you can change it to whatever color you want. And the secondary color also changes the stitching on the inside of the car. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And staying on the inside of the car, the trim color just has an impact on the seats. So if you want them to be a fun color, change up the trim color. Now, one super unique aspect of this car is the roof. You can actually change the roof option here from stock to livery to carbon. I think livery is your best bet here, as even if you don't have a livery, it just changed it to the primary color. After that, you've got a ton of spoiler options. All of them look super good. It doesn't matter if you're doing a lip spoiler, ducktail, or one of the drag wings or higher up spoilers. All of them look fantastic in my opinion. And then after that, we move on to the wheels. Now, these wheels are not unique, but you can change the color of the stock ones with the iFruit. However, I'll be showing you a much easier way. These are actually tuner rims. So if you go to tuner and then you actually go to Fujiwara, those are the exact same rims. So they're very, very close. And if you don't want to mess with the iFruit, those wheels look almost identical. However, if we do bring this car outside of the LSC, we are actually able to change the color of the stock rims with the iFruit app. So that's great because they're not chrome. You can change them to whatever color you want. We can also open up all the doors on this car too, trunk, hood, and both passenger and driver side door, which looks pretty awesome. That engine is super beefy and looks amazing in my opinion. And speaking of that, let me actually let you guys take a listen to the startup sound of this car. It is menacing. Take a listen to this. So that was awesome, right? Let's take a look at the headlights now. The headlights at the front do change depending on whether you want a normal or a bright set. So the light on top is your default ones, and the bottom light will come on if you change them to bright. What about if we put on that fun customization option that closes off the grille, the phantom options? Well, it turns out that you can still see the headlights through that grille option, just as strong as you can if there was nothing there. That's kind of interesting. I guess because it's not technically a headlight cover, you can still see straight through it, which I guess is pretty cool, but it does make for a very unique customization option. And other than that, it does have the new sort of muscle car feature where it can do the wheelie from stop. That's kind of awesome. And from what I've noticed just driving this so far, it's really powerful. Now, it's a little slow off the get off. I mean, this car is very chunky, as you guys can see. Like, it is a thick vehicle. And because of that, it's not like the fastest. There's certainly muscle cars that are quicker, but it does feel good, and it's a ton of fun to drive. And because I don't do a ton of muscle car races, and I'm sure you guys are in the same boat, whenever I buy a muscle car, it's either for looks, for sounds, for unique quirks about it, and this certainly has a ton of unique features and quirks, and overall, it looks amazing and is based off of a super cool car. So overall, you're getting a great muscle car that's not terribly expensive and has awesome customization and is a ton of fun to drive. So I'd say that that's a win in my book. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. That is 15 things you need to know before you buy the Schyster Deviant in GTA Online. Let me know what you think about this vehicle in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.